President Wilkes, Board Chair Portanese, and Gala guests, thank you for inviting me here today to tell my story and to express my gratitude to you and to the Borough of Manhattan Community College. My name is Leslie Ann Reid-Bacchus, and I love my job. I am a speech-language pathologist, and I work with pre-K to 5th grade students in a public school in East New York, Brooklyn. I can now help children access the world around them, and nothing is more fulfilling than having a child know that he made the sound correctly for the first time, or to have a parent come to me and say, "I love you," because I can now understand what my child is saying, and I can see his confidence brimming because of it. Many of my students come from broken homes, shelters, foster care, toxic environments. But I was so drawn to working with this population because I identified with them. I know the challenges of growing up in poverty with parents who were barely educated. I know how limited their view of the world could be. I was born into a poor family in Trinidad and Tobago, the first of 5 children. My parents never completed elementary school, and as adults, they worked menial jobs. Food and shelter were things that we just never took for granted. Many days we had a single meal, sometimes none. Getting to and from school on a daily basis was a challenge, but every morning I woke up and I got ready to go, waiting, hoping that that day I will be able to go to school. While at high school, a donor ensured that I was able to eat at least 1 proper meal a day. And that act of generosity greatly impacted my performance at high school. That same person gifted me a school ring when I graduated in 1998. And to this day, I still wear that ring to remind me of where I came from, and that one person, one act of generosity can make such a transformative difference in another's life. I migrated to the US in 2000, and I worked as a full-time nanny. While as a nanny, I worked in Manhattan, and I was happy that I could take care of my family and my siblings at home. Working in Manhattan, in downtown Manhattan area, I would push strollers through Washington Square Park, and I would look at the NYU students' classes being held in the park. And not for a second would I ever think that I would someday attend and graduate from NYU. However, as time went on, I realized I needed more. I wanted more. I wanted to help children in a better way, in a bigger way than just being a nanny. After fighting my fears of probably not being good enough to go to college, at the age of 35, I began classes at BMCC in January of 2008. Initially, I felt so overwhelmed by the expectations of my professors, having to pay for tuition, pay for books, and life's expenses. But I was determined not to fail. Failure was not an option. After my first semester, I was awarded the Out in 2 scholarship, and that was a turning point in my life. The scholarship took away the stress of having to pay for tuition and books, but in addition to the financial aid, I felt like I got a family out of it. The Out in 2 administrator at the time, Alumna Thomas, she helped me to appreciate my value, and she opened my eyes to what I could achieve. Alumna introduced me to the Community College Transfer Opportunity Program, and that put NYU within my grasp. I graduated in 2010 from BMCC with a 4.0 GPA as the valedictorian. and I continued my academic journey to NYU. And I also had, luckily, a scholarship that covered 50% of my tuition at NYU. NYU was challenging because the program I went under, I had to be out in 4 semesters. So some semesters I had 5 classes, I had 6 classes, and I worked 50 to 60 hours a week. It was very challenging, but I must say, BMCC prepared me well. I graduated from NYU in 2012, and I was awarded the Certificate of Distinction, a Founders Day Award, and I was also given the great honor of being the baccalaureate banner bearer for the Steinhardt School. I was then accepted to Brooklyn College, and I pursued a master's degree in speech-language pathology. While there, I was awarded the Diana Rogovin Davidow Speech and Hearing Scholarship. I completed my master's program in August of 2014 with a job offer in hand. In September of 2014, I began my career as a speech-language pathology in the public school system. I am now able to sow seeds of possibility in children who, in many ways, face the same barriers I did as a little girl. And I walk this path because of many different things throughout my life. However, there were 2 major turning points, and both of them stemmed from the generosity of strangers. In high school, someone fed my body. And at BMCC, the Out in 2 scholarship fed my mind and my soul. In closing, I know to some people, my life, my achievements may seem average. It may be nothing to write home about. However, that poor, hungry little girl from Trinidad and Tobago is living her wildest dreams. I have an amazing career that I love, and I'm now seeing the world outside of books. I'm at 22 countries, 65 cities, and counting. This is something that I never would have thought. I lost myself as a child discovering the world through books, and that I thought was the extent of my travels. And I am able to do all of this because of people like you. People who chose to look beyond yourself to make this world a better place for others. You have made, and you are continuing to make, a transformational difference in the life of so many deserving BMCC students. From the bottom of my heart, that little girl says thank you. I say thank you. Thank you.